Hello, movie nerds, and welcome back to Cinematic Sarcastic, the podcast that talks all things movies and television. I'm Natalie, and I'm your host. On today's episode, we are going to be talking about Under the Banner of Heaven. I am a little late to the party on this one. I had some trouble getting into it when it first dropped, but I'll explain a little bit about that in a minute. So this show, when it first came on, or when it first actually dropped, I saw Andrew Garfield and I was immediately in. I was just in. I love him. I think he's such a good actor. I very much enjoyed him as Spider-Man. He is my favorite Spider-Man, actually. But I think he's just a really great actor, and most of the things that he acts in, he does a really great job. So I was interested in this one. I started that first episode and must have tried to get through it a good 5 or 6 times. And for whatever reason, I just couldn't make it through that first hour episode. My brain just would time out after, 30, 40 minutes. And I was missing some things and just couldn't quite grasp what was going on. And typically, if I have that kind of a reaction to a television show, I don't really think about it much, and that sort of is my cue to just go, okay, this one's not for me. But I had a similar experience with Under the Banner of Heaven that I did with the Santa Clarita Diet, the one with Drew Barrymore. I had tried to watch Santa Clarita Diet and couldn't get into it. But it stayed on my mind until finally I was able to kind of really get into it. And then I super enjoyed it, thought it was really great. And Under the Banner of Heaven was an exact same experience. I finally did make it through that first episode, and it was almost like once the gates opened of the end of that first episode, I was in, and I binged the whole rest of the season, stayed up late to finish that last episode, which was like an hour and a half long one. And I was glued. I was snot bubble crying by the end of Under the Banner of Heaven. It was just so good and so heartbreaking. And I have to say, Under the Banner of Heaven has just the most outstanding cast. And there wasn't a single person in the cast that I was like, they're, pulling this down, or they're not giving it as much as, everyone else in this episode. Every single actor or actress just completely brought their A game. It's like they just nailed their roles perfectly. I was very impressed with Wyatt Russell and Sam Worthington in this one, and Rory Culkin as well. They were very intense, and I was in that ride with them, and I feel like it's one of those things where you're like, I hate you, you psycho. And you know that the reason that you feel that strongly is because they're doing such an excellent job being essentially the bad characters, or, the ones that are not the heroes of this story. It was very interesting for me to see Sam Worthington in this way too, because I feel like the last time that I remember seeing him in something was in Avatar, which was ages and ages ago. And I might have seen him in something since then, and I just don't recall. I'm not sure if he's been mostly tied up filming the other Avatar movies, like the sequels, or kind of where he's been. But having this be really the first thing that I remember seeing him in after that was incredible. I mean, Under the Banner of Heaven just completely blew me away. I would highly recommend it. I would definitely go watch. I know I was a little bit hesitant to watch it because of the Mormon aspect of it. I don't know that much about the religion, and I was not sure how they were going to present it, or how the cast of characters was going to go along those lines. But considering that Under the Banner of Heaven is sort of based off of a nonfiction book of the same name, of an actual true crime, it makes it that much kind of more difficult to watch, knowing that these things, whether they've been, elaborated on for television or not, it's pretty brutal to think that, there are people that can do stuff like this. And it really kind of it was very eye-opening. In no way would I say this show is going to be one of those that's just trashing on Mormons or, trying to really make you think badly of them or differently of them. It is very, very specific to this particular family that just kind of went over the deep end. And I feel like that is very easy to do with any religious organization. You have those people that follow and have faith and are good and kind in that faith. And I think that Andrew Garfield would be a standout person that is very similar to that. And also the character of Brenda, played by Daisy Edgar Jones. She's also exactly like the embodiment of that really just good-hearted Mormon who wants to live in the principles. And sort of Sam Worthington, Wyatt Russell, Rory Culkin, all of them really show you what the dark side of what you can do with a religion looks like. Just outstanding television show. Would 100% recommend. Please do let me know if you were able to check it out. Subscribe if you want to join the Movie Nerd family, and I hope to see you in the next episode.